This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. We're continuing on in Halachos Netilas Yadayim, Ba'boiker. If I could remind everyone, kindly, there are no phones in the Beis Medrash at any time. Not b'shas tefillah, not b'shas Torah. They can't be on, and they can't be seen. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're continuing in Siman Daled. Siman Daled, Sif Katan Hey. So again, this is a Sefer Shoneh Halachos, which is a summary of the Mechaber Rama and Mishnah Berurah. Siv Katan Vav. Tekev kishem esoirer ba'boiker yital yadav. As soon as you get up in the morning, you got to wash your hands. So meaning, don't go to the bathroom and start putting on your makeup, your perfume, your cologne. Don't start taking phone calls. Don't start getting involved in your business. Don't go down to your computer. The very first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you wash your hands 3 times. Preferably, you should have it by your bed within Dalet Amos. That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. That's the baseline halacha. There are certain leniencies. Perhaps the whole room is considered Dalet Amos, not the whole house, the whole room. So if you have a sink in your room, maybe that's something to rely on. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach brings down that there's some kind of tradition from the Vilna Gaon that when Avraham ben Avraham, first of all, the learning today is dedicated by our good friend Reb Robert Yagurav. It's the learning should be Le'iloi Nishmas, Reb Daniel ben Zulai and Raphael, and also Le'iloi Nishmas the Chelkas Yehoshua the Biala Rebbe. So on this case, we hope that the Neshama Shem and Aliyah B'Gan Eden Teimenu Chasam B'Yomei Tzosha for their whole families. Abi Yaskel Tzedek. That Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach said that when the great convert Avraham ben Avram was burnt at the stake, they saw like a fire ascend to the heaven, and the tumah of Neigel Vasser in the morning was abolished. So that is a certain leniency regarding washing Neigel Vasser within Dalet Amos. Another idea that's brought in the Poskim is that if you go to sleep after Chatzos, there's not so much Ruach Ra. But again, these are all leniencies. The best thing is, get yourself a basin, get yourself a cup, and put it within your 4 cubits so you could wash first thing in the morning. Now, if you're going to wash in the sink, just make sure it's the very first thing you do. That should be the very first thing you do. Don't talk, don't look, don't exercise, don't do anything. First thing you do in the morning, you got to wash your hands 3 times. And they should be b'seirugin. It should be alternating. It should be alternating. Now, the issue here is that you always give precedence to the right side. The thing is, you want to pick up the cup in your right hand, you also want to wash your right hand first. So what do? You pick up the cup in your right hand, you then put it into the left hand, you wash the right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand 3 times. That is the most shitos. However, the Gra says you need to wash a 4th time, because if you wash 3 times, your hands are clean, but the water is tamei. Ubeshem hagra kasu daled pam. You should wash 4 times. Gimel pam l'haver ruach ra. 3 times to remove the ruach ra. V'haravi, the 4th time l'haver hamayim shenitmu, to remove the impure water. Now, so you say, but I use 50 gallons each time I pour, so isn't that enough to get off the ruach ra? It's not a matter of quantity, it's a matter of Kabbalistically 3 times. I once saw in the Sefer Seder Hayoim of why 3 times. The Seder Hayoim was written by Rav Moshe Mas. It was written by Rav Moshe ben Machir, a Talmud of that Rizal. Actually, I was once driving in the north, and somebody turned to me and said, "Who's Rav Moshe ben Machir?" I said, "What? Huh? Yeah, turn around. Rav Moshe ben Machir." I said, "Stop." I told the bus, "Stop." We stopped the bus, we got off, went to the kever of Moshe ben Machir. Moshe ben Machir is the author of this following tefillah. Moida ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehachazarta bi nishmasi b'chemela kama rabba emunasecha. So he went there, and sure enough, coming out of his kever was a spring of mayim chayim. Of course, the author of Moida Ani is going to have Neigel Vasser right within his Dalet Amos. And Yeah. Anyway, I believe he writes 2 reasons why we wash our hands 3 times. Number 1, 3 times is chazaka. So you're machzik the tahara. And also there are 3 different kinds of ruchais ra'ah. You want to get off each kind. Now, even if you pour a lot of water at one time, ein mayal, it doesn't help. V'yitzleim l'chadchila ad perak hazroya. L'chadchila, you want to wash your entire hand until the arm. Okay, the entire hand. And it's not mayim achroinim, where you wash your fingertips. You got to wash the whole hand. V'mein loy mayim, if you don't have enough water, dayad kishrei etzvos, if it's enough up till the knuckle of the finger. So you wash the whole finger. So for example, Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av, where we limit the washing, you wash up to the knuckle of the finger. Okay, so that's very important. What's the reason we wash Neigel Vasser? When the neshama goes up to Shamayim, it creates a vacuum of Kedusha. So all the ruchos ra come onto the body. When the neshama returns in the morning, it banishes the tumah. The tumah remains on the hands. You want to make sure you get it off in the morning. Siv Zayin. You don't want to touch your mouth before Neigel Vasser. Do not touch your mouth before Neigel Vasser. Now we're makbid. Not only do you not stick your hand in your mouth, you don't touch the outside of your mouth. Before Neigel Vasser, don't touch your mouth. Don't touch your nose. Not only the inside, the outside. You don't touch your nose before Neigel. Loila znayim, even on the outside. V'loila inayim. Now your eyes. Don't start going, oh. By the way, going like that, it's not going to wake you up. Okay, only caffeine will do that. But rubbing your eyes, not going to wake you up. Do not touch the outside of your eyes. Va'afilu lahaver yadav agaveinu mibachutz yesh lizar. Even to pass your hands over your eyes on the outside, you should be careful if it's possible. You want to also be careful that you don't touch the opening of the rectum, even occasionally, or the hole where you urinate from, so you say you're never allowed to touch there. But even if you're married, where you're allowed to touch there, even if you're married, you don't want to touch any hole in the body. The ruach ra could get in the hole. If you bloodlet, some people they like to bloodlet. It's not recommended to put leeches on your body anymore, right? What do the doctors say? No, not good to bloodlet. However, people have parties now with infusions. They have infusions. They get themselves hooked up, and they get themselves infused with hydration, with mineral. You know that? They make actually parties where people get together and everybody, they have all kinds of chemicals running through their veins. But don't touch the hole before Neigel Vasser. V'chol makom chabura. Any opening in the body, shlaliga afil b'mikra, do not touch even occasionally, even by accident. Avoid. So that's why it's important. First thing you do in the morning, you want to wash Neigel Vasser. V'chein lo yiga b'gigas shechar. You have a barrel of beer. It has a spigot. You don't want to touch that opening. You're going to ruin the whole beer. You'll ruin your beer. Some would say if you touch the opening of the beer, you got to toss the whole beer. You got to throw it all out. It's ruined. It's not clear lemaisa what we do. So you don't want to be touching. You have this pull and spring machine. You want to go just for the fun of it. You want to touch it. No, don't do it. It's not right. You're going to go to someone's house. You're going to sneak in someone's house. You want to pull a prank on him. You want to ruin his water. Well, you did a good job. You may have ruined his water. Other food, yizar shlo yiga. You should be careful not to touch food before Neigel Vasser. V'im naga, and if you did touch the food, ein le'asar hamaychel. We're not going to asar the food. Liquid, you can't wash. You can't wash liquid. Food, you touch meat. What you do is el yadichu gimel pamim. You're going to wash the meat 3 times. The meat's going to wash Neigel Vasser. Yeah? So basically, let's say you have scrambled eggs and you touched it before Neigel Vasser, so you just wash it 3 times and it's good to go. You have a bagel and cream cheese. Yeah, you touched it before Neigel Vasser. You just wash it 3 times, not a problem. So that's That's why it's preferable in the bagel store if the people handling your bagel are goyim better than Jews. Because if they're goyim don't have to wash Neigel Vasser. So if they touch your bagel, it's not a problem. But the Jew, what are you going to ask him? Rabbi Yid, you washed Neigel Vasser this morning. So And you say he wears gloves? Yeah, right. They don't wear gloves. Weiter. Ein lishtois ashan tabak koydem netilas yadayim. You want to smoke a pipe, you want to smoke a cigarette before netilas yadayim. Aside from the fact that you're committing very slow suicide, you're also injecting ruach ra into your body because, you're handling it by your mouth and you're getting ruach ra into your mouth. Now, what's going to kill you first, the ruach ra or the smoke? So it's a close race. They're both going to be racing to bring you down. So, for many reasons, you don't want to be smoking before Shachris. Yud Aleph, afilu misha nato yadav. So you say, even someone who did wash Neigel Vasser, lo yehei ragil l'ngaya b'piyat habas. It is not a good idea to be touching the opening of the rectum, where you defecate from. Why? It irritates it, and then you could get hemorrhoids. Also, in general, don't touch where you bloodlet, or you have a scab. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Uvenagias shechar, don't touch the barrel. In general, even if your hands are clean, hands off the barrel. Yud Beis, Sarchel Hazer Lenoshim Sheizor Ben Tilsik Daim Gimel Pamim. You got to make sure your wives wash Neigel Vasser. B'Seirugan, and they do it alternating. Kamay Anoshim. And also another thing is they're the ones making your food. So you could be machmir on Neigel Vasser from forever. But if the woman's not washing Neigel Vasser, then your scrambled eggs, you're going to have to wash the Neigel Vasser. Your wife said, why are you washing Neigel Vasser on the scrambled eggs? Because, you have to make sure that the Noshim wash their hands 3 times. Yud Gimel. Gam yesh lizar shaktanim yitlu yadayim b'shachris. You also have to be careful children wash their hands. Ki noigim b'machal. Because they touch their food. Now here's the thing. We said that Goyim don't have to wash Neigel Vasser. But the Zohar says that the Nishmas Yisrael does not come until 13 years old. So technically speaking, a kid under 13 would not have to wash Neigel Vasser. However, from the age of Chinuch already, some semblance of the Nishmas Yisrael comes, and therefore certainly from the age of Chinuch, you should have the kids wash Neigel Vasser. But already, once they start touching food, it's recommended that you wash Neigel Vasser. Say the kid's 3 years old, he should wash Neigel Vasser? Yes, it's preferable. Once the kid is already, we parking them in the high chair with the Cheerios. For us, parents put them high chair, they strap them in, and they come back like 4 hours later. Once they're strapped in, and they're there with the finger food, with the Cheerios, you want to wash them Neigel Vasser. And also, don't leave them strapped in for 4 hours. Okay, that's child abuse. The authorities might come down. Not going to be good. But anyway, weiter. Yodalim, Naga Goy b'machal until Sam in lachish. If a guy touches the food, it's not an issue. Sivkatan tezvav kishenoitel yadav tsar. Here's a Kabbalistic practice. When you wash Neigel Vasser, you should sort of lift up your hands as if you're trying to be makabel the tahara. Kishenoitel yadav tzach livshoit hakapos. You should stretch out your hands. Kemisha roitzel kabel davar, like somebody who wants to receive something. V'yagbiyim, you should lift them up. Keneged harosh, opposite the head. Is there a Mishnah Berurah here? Somebody bring Mishnah Berurah. Is there the big one? Do you have the big ones? Chilak Aleph? Where are the big ones? Because this inyan of lifting up your hands comes from the Magen Avraham. Thank you. This comes from the Magen Avraham. Okay. Weiter. Now, what if a person in the chveis has a cast or one hand is, or they only have enough water to wash one hand. Is it all or nothing? No, Neigel Vasser is not all or nothing. If you wash one hand 3 times, so the Ruach Ra is off on that hand. So Sivkat and Tezayin. Misha Natal, Yadai, Achas, Levad, if someone only washes one hand, Gimel Pam, so Ruach Ra Me'esayad, the Ruach Ra is removed from that hand. Sivkat and Yud Zayin. Natil Yadayim, in other words, so somebody has a cast. So we say, well, I can't get off the Ruach Ra anyway, so there's no point. No, wash the hand that you can wash. Don't wash Neigel Vasser on the floor. So why would you do it if you have a dirt floor, you're camping? Don't wash on the floor. Somebody might step on it. Somebody steps on your Neigel Vasser water, it causes Ruach Ra to get into them. So you don't wash in a public place. And Vafila agabe kismem, even if it's chips, so it sort of gets absorbed. Asar. Ella l'toich kli. It should be into a vessel. Toiv lahachin shnei kelim merashaisav. Therefore, it is good to prepare 2 kelim by your head. Echad malei ve'echad rekam. 1 full kli, 1 empty kli, to wash Neigel Vasser next to your bed. That's the ideal thing to do. There's a discussion whether it's necessary for the a kli of Neigel Vasser to have handles. It seems not. I looked around in all the Sifrei Poskim. It's not brought that the kli of Neigel Vasser has to have handles. If anybody knows anything more about that, I'd be interested to hear. But it is not brought, not in the Mishnah Brura, not in the Piskei Teshuvos, not in the Isha Yisrael. They don't bring any discussion in the Poskim that there is a Maila to have handles. Okay, weiter. Lo yishbach al yadav mishalei natal yadav shachris. Do not, in other words, let's say you have your butler. Yeah, Elliot. The butler, I don't mean your butler. Let's say you have, you call, hey, butler. What's the name? What's a good name for a butler? Malcolm? What's a good name for? James. So, James, come here. I want to have a Neigel Vasser. James said, you didn't say Moidani yet. Tako, you're right, James. Moidani, James, come here. So if James did not wash Neigel Vasser, he cannot wash your hands. But he could bring you water. He said, James, I forgot to put the Neigel Vasser by my bed. He said, don't you know the Gra says, that Rav Shlomo Zalman said from the Gra, the Ruach Ra of Neigel Vasser was a Butler? Yeah, but that's only b'diavad. L'chadchila Mishnah Brura says you put it by the bed. So James said, yeah, I forgot. So he could bring you the water, he just can't pour it. For bread, even someone who did not yet wash could wash your hands, but not for Neigel Vasser. Fine. Chaf. Noitel kli shalmayim biyad yaminai. You should take the vessel with your right hand. V'noisnoi liyad smailai. Then put it in your left hand. Kidei sheyarak mayim al yaminai tchila, in order to pour in the right hand. First, v'gam be'itar azlinan basar yamin de alma. A lefty still washes his right hand first. Any lefties here? You're a lefty? You're always a lefty? Very chashav. A lefty washes his right hand first.
So for the brocha, lefty would keep food into his left hand, but for the left hand, it's still that.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're coming to a new subject. Besides Neigel Vasser, there's another reason to wash your hand in the morning, and that is for tefillah. Now there's a machlokes, the Rosh and the Rashba. What's the reason that we wash our hands for tefillah? The Rosh says Yadayim Askani Yosem, that during the course of the night you scratched your head, you scratched sweaty parts of your body, and let's leave it at that. We don't know where the hands may have went in the night. Therefore, in the morning they're dirty. You must clean them for davening. The Rashba says differently. The Rashba says that every morning God recreates you. You're a new creation. And just like a kohen would inaugurate his avodah in the mikdash from the kiyar, Every morning, like Kohanim, we have to inaugurate our Avodas Hashem by washing our hands. This has nothing to do with Neigel Vasser. It's not connected to Neigel Vasser. It's not related to Neigel Vasser. It's washing for Tefillah, which means even though the first thing you did in the morning is you washed your hands with a kli, you're gonna have to wash your hands with a kli another time. Not like touch the sink and get like a bead of moisture on the tip of it. You have to wash your hands like for bread another time. When? Before your daven. Either right before you leave your house in the morning, last thing you do, or first thing you do when you come to the shul. And you're going to say a bracha. Asher kedishanu b'mitzvaysav v'tzivanu al netilas yadayim. What if a person stayed up all night? So according to the Rush, your hands were not busy because you weren't sleeping. But according to the Rashba, even though you're not a new creation, loy plug, everyone else is a new creation. Plus the Rashba writes in a tshuva, the world is a new creation. So according to the Rush, you don't have to. According to the Rashba, you do have to. So that's why the Mishnah Berurah says if you're up all night, you make sure to go to the bathroom. Now your hands are dirty. Even according to the Rush, your hands are dirty, and you make a bracha before the davening. Don't confuse Neigel Vasser with Netilas Yadayim. These are two separate halachos. Neigel Vasser is Kabbalistic, Netilas Yadayim is al pi halacha.
You go straight from Netilas Yadayim to davening, then you don't have an issue.
Neigel Vasser?
Neigel Vasser right after that, and then you daven right after.
Here's the thing.
There's no.
What about going to the bathroom?
Let's say.
But let's say a guy wakes up in the morning and he doesn't have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
A malach.
Yeah.
Or
how about this? Let's say if he did it the wrong way, and he had Netilas Yadayim, and then he goes straight from Netilas Yadayim to daven.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Even if someone that goes to the bathroom, you have to wash your hands after, right?
So.
Cleanliness, it's clean.
So like this.
According to the Rush.
We're going to say in the morning, basically the way to go, the first thing you do is you wash Neigel Vasser. Then you go to the bathroom, and you get dressed, and you brush your teeth. And then when you come out of the bathroom, and you're all ready to go, sort of to Shachris, you wash your hands, and you say Netilas Yadayim. You're saying you're gonna end up washing your hands just for cleanliness, and then get ready for Shachris 15 minutes later? You could delay a little bit washing the hands. To wash right before the tefillah.
If we have to go with the Rush.
What?
If we have to go with the Rush.
We're choshesh for both shitos. We're choshesh for both shitos. So again, this is many people are not aware. They open up their siddur and it says, "Oh, Netilas Yadayim." Okay, so let me just say the bracha on Netilas Yadayim. But it's a bracha on the washing, and it's a washing separate from the Neigel Vasser. Listen to this. If you have going to go do carpool, or you're going to take your kids to the bus stop, then you're going to wash your hands 3 times. You're going to wash your hands first when you get up in the morning for Neigel Vasser. Then you go to the bathroom, so you're going to wash your hands for Asher Yotzar. But I'm not ready to daven yet. Then, before I go into the shul, in other words, if I'm not going, basically, from getting ready in the morning to the shul, because I have to go carpool, I have to take my kids to the bus, or whatever else I have to do that's going to occupy me, then right before I daven with a kli, I'm going to wash my hands and say, Al Netilas Yadayim. Now, when you make Netilas Yadayim, it is best to be koiveya other berachas hashachar along with it, namely Asher Yatzar, Elokai Neshama, and berachas haTorah. That's the best way to go. So in the morning, you're going to wash your hands a minimum 2, possibly 3 times. We'll get into that more tomorrow because some people want to hear about halachos of Yom Edom.
The pattern of washing is different, or
it's different. Oh, for Netilas Yadayim Shachris, it's not alternating. It's like for bread. Correct. By the way, for mincha, we mentioned this. For mincha, you also should wash your hands with a kli. Why? Because according to the Rashba, you don't have to wash your hands. It's only only Beriach Hadasha. But according to the Rosh, your hands are dirty in the course of the day. You would have to wash with a kli. The Gra would even make a bracha by mincha. We don't do that. But we're makbid to wash with a kli. If you daven mincha marav separately, you have to wash your hands for marav. If you daven mincha marav back to back, so if you listen to the rabbi and you're paying attention to what he's saying, you don't have to wash. If you're on your phone and you're scratching your head, you're going to have to step out and wash. And that's why you don't want to be mesiach das if between mincha marav. Same thing with musaf. Nobody has to step out by musaf to wash their hands. But a guy who needs to take a stroll, at the end of Kriyas HaTorah, then before he comes in for musaf, is going to have to wash his hands for musaf.
Consider making something dirty enough that you have to wash. So, okay, scratching your head, let's say.
Scratching your head, sticking your hand in your shirt, touching your shoes.
Anything. So let's say you're in a Shoneh situation. How do you get rid of that?
You wipe it.
On what? Plastic's good enough?
Yeah.
Plastic's good enough?
Yeah. Now, there's a question, if somebody's up all night, so we say for the rush, you go to the bathroom. Why can't you scratch your head? What's this? It seems like for shacharis, touching your feet or scratching is not good enough. You got to get down and dirty. Yeah? Okay, this is part 1. Part 2, I don't know if I'll post, but we'll see.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.